I was thinking about this the other day, about how things change. Not just the small things like fashion or phones, but the value of things, what we consider precious. My granddad, he always talked about gold, solid, reliable gold. That was his safe haven. If you had gold, you were set. That was the wisdom. But then I started looking back over the past 50 years, and it's kind of fascinating and honestly a bit shocking. Because while gold has done okay, it's gone up maybe 19 or 20 times what it was worth in the 1970s, so many other everyday things have just exploded. They've left gold sitting in the dust. Let me give you some examples that just blew my mind. Take saffron, that little red spice in your kitchen. My mom uses a few threads in her rice. Seems simple, right? Well, since the 70s, the price of that spice has increased about 175 times. 175! Think about that. A pinch of saffron has outperformed a bar of gold. It's wild. They say it's because it's painfully hard to harvest and demand just keeps growing. Or think about putting a roof over your head, a home in a major city. If you bought one in, say, 1974, it's worth nearly 95 times more today. Not 20 times, 95. That's the dream for so many people, but it also shows why it feels so impossible for young folks to buy in now. Here's the real kicker though, sending your kid to college or getting medical care. The cost of those things, it's up by a staggering 28,800% since the 70s. Let me say that another way. For every dollar it cost back then, you're paying about $289 now. It's not an investment you choose, it's a bill you have to pay, and it's grown faster than almost anything else. That tells a story, doesn't it? A story about our priorities, or maybe about a system that's just spiraling. Then you have the modern miracles, technology stocks. If you'd invested in the early tech companies and held on through the crazy ups and downs, you'd be looking at gains of 64,900%. That's a 650-fold increase. It's the story of Silicon Valley, of the digital age, right there in a number. And of course, Bitcoin. It's the new kid on the block. It didn't even exist for most of those 50 years, but in its short roller coaster life, it shot up by over 60,000%. It's the ultimate high-risk, high-reward story of our time. But it's not all digital. Some of the oldest, most beautiful things have held their value in a different way. A Stradivarius violin. Its value has appreciated over 11,000%. It's not just an instrument, it's a piece of history, and that history has become astronomically valuable. So what does all this mean when you step back? Telegram viewers, the code is TAG 171928. It means the world has changed drastically. My granddad's gold is still a safety net, sure, but the real growth, the astronomical leaps in value, have been in the things that define our modern life. The spice in our food, the roof over our head, the knowledge in our heads, the technology at our fingertips, and even the care for our health. Gold was the anchor of the past. But looking at these numbers, the anchors of today and the rocket ships, they look very, very different. They're in our kitchens, our doctor's offices, our universities, and even in lines of code. That's the real lesson of the last 50 years. Value has changed its address.